Let's talk about the DJI Ban really quick. I just have a quick update for you. So today is the day. Today is the day of the DJI ban, right? We talked about this a lot on the show. We talked about this last week. But let me just quote from Jay Peters at The Verge, who says, the Federal Communications Commission has banned new drones made in foreign countries from being imported into the U.S. unless the Department of Defense or the Department of Homeland Security recommends them. If you already own a drone, this is the important piece, made outside the U.S., you'll still be able to use it according to FCC's fact sheet. Drones or drone components can be removed from the covered list if the DoD or DHS make a specific determination for the FCC that it does not pose unacceptable risks. Basically, what this means right now is that things that have FCC clearance will actually continue to be able to be sold. So the Osmo 3 should be able to be sold. It hasn't been added to this list. Actually, the Osmo 4 also got clearance, and so it should also be able to be sold once it comes out, potentially in January.
Oh, in January.
But you never know. Basically, just like TikTok, DJI is facing a similar fate, right? There's lots of concern about it from our lawmakers, and we don't necessarily know what its future is. I think in the past, Benji, you've talked about saying, hey, we should have you should just buy the Osmo 3. You shouldn't even wait for the Osmo 4. Don't even risk not being able to get it if there is a ban.
Yeah, I'm actually looking it up as we speak to see if, first off, it's $679 on the Creator Bundle on Amazon, but you cannot get it right now at Costco.
Really?
And it was cheaper there. They probably just stopped buying it altogether. You cannot get the DJI, which kind of sucks. I wish I had bought it when it was there because it got pretty cheap. Like, it got back to $500. So, man, interesting. So that means... And $679 seems kind of expensive.
It is, but with the bundle, it sort of fluctuates a lot. I mean, the Osmo has always been known to fluctuate in price a lot, I feel like.
Anyways, I'm glad I bought mine. And the Extra Muse, though, is a cheap $419.
It's kind of amazing, really.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, it like the TikTok ban, it's like when it happens, it happens. When you go to the website, wherever you buy your Osmo and can't buy it, that's the thing. And my whole thing was more about the updates. If you already have it, does it limit the updates, the software updates, or do you think you can use them?
Yeah, to me, it sounds like there hasn't been a lot of determination around what the firmware updates are going to look like, whether it's going to be allowed or not. I would guess that it would be hard to do. It probably,
but you don't need them. Right?
In terms of the firmware updates.
Yeah, you don't need the firmware updates. I never firmware updated my Canon G7X.
Yeah, I think that it'll just stay frozen in time with what it is. You just hope that there's no bugs in there. But I mean, honestly, the Osmo software has been so good and rock solid. It might be a good thing if they freeze it in time. And not necessarily saying that that's for real, but...
Oh yeah, I don't know. That's probably not accurate. I felt like it's more hardware than software, but there is a lot of software involved with the Osmo compared to like a Canon G7X that's buttons and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, just beyond the buttons too, even like the image processing pipeline in terms of the gimbal and things like that requires software. Everything requires software to some degree.